Hi, welcome to Module 12. In this module, we're going to talk about the information set. Hi, welcome to Module 12. In this module, we're going to talk about supporting an information-centric decision-making type of environment. The critical piece here is that we need to understand where the information is and the tools that are associated with decision-making. And these will include things like data warehouse, analytical processing. We'll talk a little bit about cubes and knowledge bases as well. So decision making is a process that involves a bunch of activities that handle information. One of the things that we had said earlier was there is a difference between data and information. Data are the raw bits and pieces that are just facts. Information are those items that allow us to provide context and allow us to do analysis or decision making. Most computers support decision making by automated decision processes, and these systems are also called decision support systems. We see them in healthcare with things like clinical decision support systems, one of which is Watson, which there'll be a video there for you as well on Blackboard. So there are different things that we can use. Let's take a look at some of them. Let's take a problem-solving scenario. So we might have an executive information system to compare budget to actual sales. What an EIS is a portal that an executive might have that would give them multiple pieces of information pulled together so that they can make decisions about the marketing that's going on or the quota information. A hedge fund manager might be looking at different information from around the globe. Discovery of a sale shortfall in one region. As we're looking at sales, we might find out that there's a problem in a particular region. The possible causes might be economic conditions, competitive analysis. We might have a problem with the sales pattern in the marketing DSS. We might have a brainstorming session using a group decision support system, a GDSS. So we might actually pull something together. An example of a group decision support system, although a little bit crude, is the Google Hangouts. I might be able to create a Google Hangout and I might have some other tools like a poll that would say we put all of us together with video chat conferencing, we start talking about the various scenarios, it gets documented, I use maybe the whiteboard session, and then I might have a poll. I might be able to incorporate YouTube documents. I'm mashing up a lot of these different pieces that are enabling me to do group decision support. We might have no discernible singular cause. In other words, there's nothing very evident about what's going on. And our solution, after we've put everybody together, we've looked at the sales pattern using the decision support system in marketing, we've analyzed the competitive analysis, had everybody figuring out what they believe the causes are, pull that all together, we take a poll, and we find out that we need a multimedia sales campaign. So this is a simple scenario for some decision making. What we might use is business intelligence, which is a broad set of concepts. And basically what it is we want to understand this, we want to make sense of what is going on. Business intelligence is going to pull data from a variety of different sources and begin to shift and manipulate it in such a way that it enables us to look at it differently. We might look at it by region, by time, by week, by hour, by day. We might look at it by credit card, who's using certain credit cards, understand by certain demographics, and figure out patterns that will enable us to increase sales or look for particular problems. It gives us the ability to be aware and assess situations that seem important to the organizations. It will also bring to the forefront things that we may not be intuitively aware of. So awareness is an inductive process that's data-driven, and the assessment is fitting the observed data into a predetermined model. Now, what's interesting about this is that a lot of times when we do business analytics, and there's other courses that you can take in business analytics, some people may focus extensively on the mathematics behind it. Others may focus on the fact that they don't necessarily need the mathematics because they intuitively know what's going on based on some general sets of data. And what I would actually argue is that there is a yin and yang to business analytics. That intuition drives what the formulas and what data should be used and should be pulled in, and that the data is actually analyzed in such a way that it basically feeds intuition itself. So you have this circular thing. One is softer, the other is more concrete, but both together really create this whole concept of intelligence or business intelligence. This is a kind of corporate information factory. Here we have these operational data stores, data warehouses, metadata. We talked about some of those earlier. We have internal data and external data that basically are propagated throughout these different types of data sets, if you will. And from them, we might have tactical business intelligence about our infrastructure, about our governance. These are generally on the operations side. We might have strategic business intelligence dealing with quality. What do our applications look like? What is the metadata around what we've got? So the corporate information factory is a concept that basically allows us to separate the tactical from the strategic types of data and deliver data to the individuals that need it the most for strategic or operational decision making. Decision support systems are computer-based systems that help decision makers confront ill-structured problems. Now, in many cases, this may be just a simple application that provides information to a decision maker or a group of decision makers. The architecture is something called a dialogue data model. You may have ad hoc information requests or a specific data query. And so the software system will actually make requests to the database, may look at the model or bring it from the model component and give that information to the user. So an example of a decision support system is IBM's Watson. Healthcare or clinical DSS. And Watson takes this to a whole new level because the Watson application actually has gone through medical school, has graduated medical school, and is about to, as the time of this reading, has just completed its official residency at Sloan Kettering and is now going to be not necessarily treating patients, but diagnosing patients and recommending treatments. Of course, they're going to have a doctor, so if anyone has a problem in oncology at Sloan Kettering and you're treated by Watson, there's another doctor with you. Data mining is the use of computers to uncover unknown correlations for large data sets. So you have classes, clusters, associations, sequential patterns. In data mining, we're looking to understand information about the data. We want to see what the data begins to tell us. Because even some basic information about the data, for example, number of zip codes, the top 10 zip codes, or the top 4 regions, the top 3 area codes, they might just be enough to give us very good insight into what's actually happening. The hierarchy of data mining and business intelligence basically is we have our data sources. Those data sources are pulled into these analytical cubes. From these analytical cubes, we then begin exploring using statistical analysis, querying, and reporting. We can then mine some of the data to look at the information in a different way. This might include textual analysis and sentiment analysis. Then we will actually present the data, because one of the worst things, we love to work with numbers, but the problem is we don't want to see numbers, we want to see charts. So visualization techniques are really very important. And then the end user, or whoever the decision maker is, will again make the decision based on what is presented. So some of the software that's used here would be from the data sources. These would be your databases, the data warehouses and data marts. When we pull data, we might use things like Informatica or Talend or Essential. From there, we might do some statistical analysis, querying, reporting. I could use standard SQL. I might use Excel for even this. I could use R or SPSS. Information discovery. SAS has some very good data mining tools. There's another tool called RapidMiner, which is a free tool for single users. And that basically allows us to do some information discovery as well as R does that in addition with some of the components. And then visualization techniques. And a number of ways you could do this. You can use business objects for visualization, and business objects actually runs through the spectrum as well. Business objects, Cognos do a little bit on presentation, or you might have your own decision-making tool. Your own presentation-making tool that will actually take the data and put it into charts, bars, or other graphs.